Are you struggling with a team member whose bad attitude just brings everybody down? It's awful, isn't it? But you know you have to deal with it. So in this video, I'm going to share with you a plan that as a manager will help you address this situation with confidence. My name is Helen Bryant. I'm a leadership coach. If it's your first time here, welcome. Here on YouTube, I share weekly lessons to help managers be brilliant leaders. Now, I'm pretty sure you know as a manager that it is very important that you deal with team members with bad attitude. So when I talk about a bad attitude, I think there's a top 10 of behaviors that can be destructive within a team and have to be addressed. They are frequently complaining, being uncooperative, displaying rudeness, showing up late, ignoring feedback, blaming others, gossiping, a lack of enthusiasm, and just generally being defensive about everything. People who display these behaviors are what I call energy suckers. Whatever you do, they will generally come at the situation with negativity. And the problem with it is they're like magnets. This negativity pulls other people towards it. And I think it's sometimes because they want to validate their point of view and go, yeah, it's not just me that feels like this, everybody feels like this. But often it is their impact on other people that causes fractions within the team, frustrations in the team, reduces open communication, means that your team is much less likely to solve problems quickly, and you get your high performers who just end up tiptoeing round this other person. Eventually they're going to get fed up with it. As a manager, and particularly if you're one of those managers who is now looking at thinking, I want to get up to those exec levels, you need to think about your role in creating the culture around you and being explicit in the high-performing culture you want. You want people in your team who like being there, who do a good job, who are proactive, who support each other. You will just get much better results. So if you have team members who are not like that, who are negative and pulling the team down, you have to address it. Otherwise, it's like saying, yeah, I'm okay with this. It needs to be consistent, like over a longer period of time. You know, we all have a bad day. We all get frustrated with other people, but we pick ourselves up and we go, right, no, let's get back in the right mindset, and we carry on. So what we're looking at for people with bad attitude are the ones that are consistently demonstrating those more negative behaviors. As a manager, it is your responsibility to deal with it. So you need a plan. I think the best length of time to deal with this kind of behavior is 12 weeks. It's having a 12-week plan, and that's how I've set this up. Why? Because when people are picked up on their behaviors, they can change for a week, maybe 10 days, maybe 2.5 weeks. But then very quickly, they can return to exactly how they were before. And therefore, having a longer period of time to assess that performance improvement means that change in behavior will be a conscious choice and much more likely to stick. Always remember, one swallow doesn't make a summer. What I'm going to do is take you through what would be over that 12-week plan. So week by week, what you would need to be doing in order to address this bad attitude. Week 1 is about assessment and planning. And what you want to do is, you may have noticed this over a while, but I want you to stop and be much more conscious in your observations. I want you to think through and document exactly the behaviors that you see, because it becomes easier then to distill down what is the evidence and therefore what do you think the issue actually is. You want to set a meeting with the team member. You want it in a quiet place. You want it to be private so that you can talk openly. And you need to be crystal clear that it is a serious matter. So what does that sound like? I've noticed some specific behaviours that are concerning and affecting the team, and I want to understand more about what's going on. What you then want to do is be specific in the explanation of the behaviours that you have seen. For example, that might be, there's been instances where you've arrived late to work and in meetings. There have been occasions where you've been rude or disrespectful to your colleagues. I've heard of some gossiping that has caused stress within the team. At this point, you've stated the situation And you now want to understand from your team member's perspective what they think about the situation. Now, recognize they may get quite defensive. So it's really important that you stay calm, your body language is open, and that you reinforce that you are there to understand what has been going on. You're making no real judgment of them at this stage. What does that sound like? Can you help me understand what's been going on recently? Now, there can be a variety of reasons for why people may have a bad attitude at work. It can be about work, it could be about home, it could be just a general frustration, or it could be they're just not happy doing what they're doing, but they feel they have no choice. So they're there, but to be honest, they don't want to be. It's a variety of issues. And what you need to do as a manager is dig down and think about, are these real reasons for the behaviour? Therefore, this section of the conversation can be quite delicate. But what's really important is you just keep focused on asking the questions and then summarising back what you're hearing to be those issues. Don't try and solve anything. Just listen and understand why that might be. Now, when it comes to the next stage, it is very important, once you've summarised up what the issues are, that you are very clear that your expectations are that this needs to change, that you're looking for more positive and constructive behaviours within your team. So what would that sound like? Well, that can be as simple as, here are the behaviours we need to see for our team to be successful, and then go on to explain them. Once you've understood the issue and have reset the expectations, now is the time to set a plan, and you can start by asking them what they think they need to do in order to address these, because it's much better if the plan comes from them. But do not be nervous about being very clear on your expectations and then helping them set the plan, and also ask them what support they would need to do it. More importantly, at the end of this, you must document what has been agreed and what the plan is. And you want to send that to them and keep a copy on your file. The documentation of performance when you're working with a team member to improve performance is very important, particularly in this situation where one of the alternatives may be that they don't change their behaviour and therefore the consequences are more serious and you're going to have to escalate them. Weeks 3 to 7 are all about monitoring, feedback, and support. And so you need to have set up regular check-ins. In this kind of situation, I'd be saying weekly, short catch-ups or as part of their regular one-to-ones. And you want to be reviewing the progress made. Now, if you see progress, this is where positive feedback is your secret weapon, because what you're saying with positive feedback is, yay, do more of this. It is reassuring to the individual that they are moving in the right direction. If you don't see movement, you just keep in the loop of restating that although the person may be working hard against it, it is important that they meet the behaviours that are expected. Now, at about 7 weeks, you should be in a position to do a second assessment. And at this point, you're going to kind of know, yeah, this person has up their game, they've improved their behaviours, they are motoring back into being a strong team member. Or you're going to say, there's been very little change. So this assessment for you is a very important one, because this, if you haven't already, is the moment to align your manager and HR. So you don't want to be fighting these battles by yourself. And the last thing you want to do is take this to HR at the moment it has escalated to a point where it's difficult to manage. So you want to reach out, share the situation, share your documentation and what's happened so far, and seek feedback and advice. As I said, less important if the person has changed their behaviour. It's like, cool, this is when they haven't, and you know that this issue is not going to improve. Now you're going into the stage of the final review and the next steps. You want to set in place, about week 10, a comprehensive review where you come back to where you were, you review progress, you have a good two-way conversation with your team member. You should have documented the evidence, so it should be a very open discussion on the progress made. If it has gone well, you're going to be saying you've made great progress, keep this up. as far as I'm concerned, we are in a much better place. Well done, and really emphasize what a valuable member of the team they are. Changing behaviours takes real effort, can be very uncomfortable, and you should be supportive and empathetic of that within an individual that's made a real effort to change. If the person has not improved, this is the point of escalation. So this is where you would need to be very clear that you need to escalate the issue to the upper management or HR, as they haven't made the necessary improvements. And that's what you need to say. You need to be clear that they're not there. So this would mean that you move the process into your organization's performance management process, fully in line with its policies and with the support of HR. I think this is one of the most tricky situations as a manager to deal with, because it's the emotional reaction of the other person is often strong. So keep calm, follow the steps, get support from others, and you will make your way through it. And once you've done it once or twice, you will build up expertise. Not that you do it all the time, but just confidence in the fact that you've done it before. So if you've made it this far into the video, I know this must be important for you. And I also know you must be a manager who takes seriously the building of the culture and the management of their team. Something that may be of interest to you is my newsletter, which is a weekly lesson straight into your inbox to help you develop, reclaim your time, and be a brilliant leader. And it keeps your personal development front of mind when you're busy, as I know you all are. So if you're interested, the link is below. I wish you good luck with these situations. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments below. I'm around to answer them, and I will see you next time. Take care.